Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Margaret Being Margaret. I have some things that I wanted to talk about, and yesterday's video was way too long. Maybe not for you. I kind of think it would be. I just took a shower. You know, my day today, I have to go grocery shopping, and I get to see Deb and Mike. Yesterday's video, after I was looking at it, and my hair was flat, I know, but it was also getting to be this cute little bowl, and I don't do cute little bowls. So I just snipped, boy, not even 1/4 of an inch, and we'll see what kind of difference that makes today when I blow dry it. And it will answer some questions about how I get it to stay when I do it. I have mousse in there, my Kenra mousse. It's the only thing that works for my hair. And remember, I had bought that barb, and I had said, I don't think I'd buy it again, and I don't think I would. However, it seems to be helping. So to me, that's a lot. And that's why I wouldn't buy it, because it's expensive. If it continues working the little bit I use it, so I emulsified it, and I'm concentrating on the roots. And see, that's not going to be enough to do what I need to do. I'm going to have to use more. The bad thing about this, if you want to say it's a bad thing, is for those of us who like their hair to feel clean and don't like the feel of products, this definitely gives a product feel, especially after a day or so. I'd like to go 3 or 4 days without washing my hair, and with this on the third day, I don't have much of a choice. It feels not so much dirty, but way down or a little bit gummy. So anyway, there's a lot in it right now. You saw me work it through. I'm going to blow dry, if I can get my blow dryer out. You could round brush this, so I'll do it a little bit to show you. For me, it's a little neat, and I don't get as much lift as I want because I'm not patient enough. And you don't put a brush onto your hair until it's at least 80% dry. You can't style wet hair. All you can do is stretch it. Cleaning the fan works. Taking it apart and using the blow dryer to blow dry it all out. It's not humming. It's funny, last night when I went to bed, I could not sleep, and I get scared when that happens, just because I don't have much option during the week to catch up on sleep. But almost an hour, I realized the fan wasn't in the bedroom, it was still in the living room. I brought it in. I'll bet you it was 5 minutes. All right, now this has a lot more oomph to it. I can feel it. I can feel that it doesn't feel silky fine. It feels probably more like normal hair, and it would not get crazy flat during the day. I just do a rough dry because that's how I like to do it. I do a curl and iron and then throw Velcro rollers on it. The blow dry takes 3 or 4 minutes, that's all. The curl and iron will take the same amount of time. And then I do my makeup, what little I wear at this point, where the hair on the Velcro rollers is cooling down. Tiny bit of Vaseline. It's almost past Vaseline season. The hair's not dry anymore, so a little bit. And people have asked if I put makeup on over this. Yes, but I'm not using foundation much anymore. I do know my face always feels better when I do this. All right, that's done. So now I do the rollers. I do have that mirror down here that you see me looking at. And I take hunks of hair. This is no rhyme, no reason, just a bunch of hair. And then I find my curling iron right where I left it. Isn't that amazing? And I count to about 5, if it's on and hot. Yeah, it's going to be about 10. It's not hot enough. All right, that has enough of a curl. I can throw in a large Velcro roller I'm going to throw in a roller on each side. And again, I am grabbing huge hunks, but I'm over directing them all the way up. I take my curling iron and I flip it backwards. You've seen me do it before. It'll make a ridge in the hair right there, which you would think would be terrible, but it's not because the other hair covers it and it gives me that volume there. Big Velcro. And they're not tight. This isn't brain surgery, although I could probably use it. Turning it backwards, see it? Then curling it, and I'm trying just to get it to bend. If I get a bend in it now, it might stay full all day. I need one more in the back, and that's all. And I'm actually being a lot more careful right now because I'm showing you what I'm doing again. Boy, don't ever look down, folks. My triple chin just became a quadruple. The front, I have been doing almost as just one piece. I do this piece separately because that is the money piece. That's the piece that can make or break my hair from looking decent. Okay, I want that big, but I'm not going to try to get it super full, so I'm not pushing this way back so I get a big bump here. It's kind of coming forward almost a little bit. I'm moving to the smaller Velcro again for no reason, except that I ran out of the big ones. And you see I don't do any of this. Oh, get it back there. You belong back there. Come on, get out of my way. Thank you. Oh, dear. Well, that's not good. There. All right, this piece is the one I take. And I do kind of do that. It's called on base, where I'm not dragging it forward because I want that to have a little oomph to it. And I'm going to take a blue one because I don't have a red one. All right. Take this. This side will have almost nothing because this side doesn't have as much hair. And a lot of times I don't even bother putting this in a roller. I still have enough hair here that really should get turned. So I just take my curling iron, I pull all this up, I find it as best I can. It's not a big deal. What I do is get it a little bit of a turn so there's not that big drop between curl and no curl. And it's not going to curl anyway. It's going to be lift and no lift. How's that? You see how unexact I'm being. It doesn't, I'll say it a million times, you don't have to fuss. All right, I'm done with that part. Turn it off so you can't play with it. All right, quick little makeup. Now all it's going to be is my eyebrows. You know what I found too? A lot of times if I put my eyebrows on, because I have almost none, you can see them, a lack of them, I will do it without being in the magnifying mirror. I'm doing it at a regular mirror light, so I can't really see them. I can see more or less where they are, and that's what I want to see. Because once I've got them where they look like they belong, which to me that's about right, now I'm going to go to the magnifying side and fill them in a little. Not a lot because I have so little eyebrows, I look silly. Sometimes when I'm looking at the videos, when I'm editing them, I'm thinking, whoa, Margaret, that's way too much. But there's nobody here to say, whoa, Margaret, that's way too much. And then I brush them. Not that there's anything there, but that just takes the color out a little. Because I'm going to be out and about and I want my makeup to stay, not that there's going to be much of it, and I really mean that, there won't be much of it. But if I'm going to do my eyes, I'd rather not wear them halfway down my cheeks. A little bit of primer, just to hold them there. Tiny bit of cover up under my eyes. And that's another thing I've been doing. Do it in a regular mirror so I can see where it's going instead of being so close to it, because I know I need it down in those creases. And somehow, when I do it up close, they end up where they don't belong. So this way, I see where it is. I know it's way too much, but that's okay. So I know that at least it's where I need it, down in those crevices. And this stuff I can take care of by going to the magnifying mirror and taking half of it off with my fingers. You know what I see? It is so crepey now. And it doesn't matter how careful I am. It's way too crepey. I've got 70-year-old skin. And since I don't ever use a filter, because in real life you're not filtered. I'm not filtered at all in real life. I do this and, look for the crepey bits and pat them out. I was looking again at some people doing their makeup and so envious of how they look so nice doing under their eyes. And with my deep set eyes, I just can't. I wish I could. This is just powder instead of a pencil or liquid. And it's purple, so it's not so harsh. The thing is, I don't really want to see it. I don't want anybody else to see it. I want to see a little bit of improvement. All right. Eye with it, eye without it. I can see a definite difference. Have downturned eyes. You know I do it, but I tell you again because somebody's going to ask. Yes, I come up on the corners. So I actually have a lot of makeup up into this corner. A little bit of shadow, not a lot. And it's just to make this recede where I've got so much lid space. Okay, and I want my lid itself lighter to pull it out from the deep set. I don't have to go cuckoo. I don't. That's pretty good for me to say that. And I do wear mascara every day, even if I don't do anything else. On a weekday when I'm it's not just, when I have the pleasure of being with my granddaughter, I have eyebrows, mascara, and a little bit of blush if I need it. Half the time I'm going to be outside with her and be so red-cheeked from being warm and running around that I don't need it. If I want to do anything to make myself look like I've got a little coverage in the T-zone, I will take Milani, which is a powder foundation. It will just go here. And there's no blending, really, because I'm not putting a lot. Make my nose go away. That's not happening. You can't make this nose go away. That's it. All right, if I just shook this out and didn't do anything, that's what you get. Now, I can't tell how bad that is, so it could be horrible. Now, you know how it looked yesterday when I just did curl and iron and then did the video, and you know it was completely flat. Look at the difference. And this is product, all product. Otherwise, I would look just exactly the same, even though I did all the work, because I did do that curl and iron work yesterday, and I did put it on the rollers yesterday, I think. I'm not sure, maybe I didn't, maybe I'm lying. But this will stay all day in some way, shape, or form. And this looks more like me. And that little bit of cut helped because I can tell it's not quite as much of a bowl. Good deal. I'm okay with this. Hope you are too. And I just didn't use a brush or anything. How's that? That's pretty darn good. I want to get myself, I'm going to get myself a cup of tea, or maybe coffee I need. And I did have some stuff I wanted to talk about yesterday, but I knew the video was going to be too long. So if I have time here before Michael comes and starts making excess noise, I want to try to go through that stuff. I'll be back. Welcome back. We've been relegated to my bed. Michael got here and the construction has commenced. I can't hear myself think. I went to get my coffee this time,
black ants. I killed a dozen of them in the kitchen. Oh, it's that season. I'm going to have to go to Home Depot and get some ant traps. Ugh. You start looking in everything before you touch it. Oh, gosh. And I don't know what to expect in this house. This is an adventure. And I stopped before I came in, read the comments from yesterday's video so that I would see if there's anything I should address. I lost quite a few subscribers yesterday with that video. Not surprised. It's unfortunate, and that's just because I talked about being somewhat of an agnostic again. For people who are supposed to be so compassionate and understanding, we don't do that well. C'est la vie. So anyway, thank you all for being so kind about my Nikki. I think it's hysterical that I call her my Nikki, so you all call her my Nikki, but she's my Nikki. I do that with everybody, my Michael, and I've spoken about this in the past. Boy, this is me going off track again, that I always claim people. I don't know what that is, but if it's selfish or I don't care what it is, I claim everybody. They're all mine. And the other thing I do is use names. I never, except with the baby, never say my daughter-in-law or my son. I always use their names. I've always been that way. And I have a lot of angst when somebody says my wife or my husband. It sounds like a possession. So that's really weird that I claim everybody, but I feel like when you don't use their name, they're a possession. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Discuss amongst yourselves. The other thing I wanted to say is, once again, I didn't explain myself well. I can't cut the door down, all those doors, to make them go across the rug because they're hollow core doors. That means there's only this much wood at the very bottom, and the laminate wood is just nailed to it. So you can't cut that without then making a new piece of wood, lifting it up, nailing it in, covering. It's not worth it. And they're very inexpensive doors. But somebody just said something that makes so much sense, and I'm so mad that I didn't think of it. They said even though it wouldn't be perfect, roll the side by the outside windows, roll it under a little, tuck it under so that you can open the doors. We might have to do that. Right now, this morning, it's not been a problem. This rug is almost a stretchy weave, so you just, kick it aside for a sec. It's not a big deal. If it's a big deal when they get here in a couple months, that's their big deal. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just not. Now I want to change subjects, and I want to do this one before I forget and it gets away from me, because somebody had asked a couple of questions that have me flummoxed, and it's about being lonely and empty nest. Asked, if I ever get lonely, and I do, sometimes really sad lonely, but not for very long. I'm really good about compartmentalizing emotions, or very bad at it from being abused. I don't know. But I've talked to my sister Karen about this, my sister. And it might just be a family thing where we can very easily compartmentalize our feelings. When I'm lonely, I do sit in it for a little while. Just saw an ant. I'm ignoring it. And I can get over it fairly easily. But what happens, and this is a real question, when you don't have a lot of mobility, your family is gone, and that's the case in somebody I'm thinking about. Family is gone, nobody close to them anymore, not a lot of mobility, a lot of health issues, and they're alone. Now that's bad enough to be lonely. And one of the things that I know we all say right away is get a hobby, or go to church, get an organization, which is all well and good. Actually, it's more than well and good, it's wonderful. But you don't have the ability to do that. In the hobby, you can't find anything that keeps your interest. Now, that I can understand because I was an avaricious reader I can't concentrate on books. I think it's just a phase. I think it'll come back. But right now, books don't do it for me, and they have all my life. And I did a lot of knitting and crocheting, some sewing, but I don't want to do any of that. The good news for me is I am finding I'm addicted to YouTube, which is good news because there's a lot of good stuff on YouTube, much better than on TV. And I love like word puzzles and things like that I can do online. That's a lot of sitting though. Maybe that's okay. But if you don't have things to fill your day, I think you can go down a rabbit hole very easily. And I don't have an answer for that. I really, really want some feedback on that. And it would be great if you could start a discussion on our Facebook page. I think we can do a whole lot more back and forth there. I need some answers so I can pass them along. And maybe the people that feel this way, if you're not on our Facebook page, get on it. That could help too, to have some quasi friends, because that page is really sweet. I don't know how that happened, but it's really sweet. The other thing is the empty nest. I get that too. When my kids went to first grade, I think I started having an empty nest, and it was awful. Every time they've left home for more than a couple of hours, I can feel the angst. When they got their driver's licenses, but they were boys. So you kind of knew they were going to pull away. And when girls pull away, I think it's probably even more painful. So empty nest is an ongoing process for me. When the kids went to college, Michael lived in, didn't think I was going to live, couldn't breathe. When he went and lived out west for a year, I mean, it was a daily struggle not to call him. And it would not have been welcome. One of the things I want to bring up, and I'll come back to it because I want to finish this. Kids are supposed to leave. Now, I don't know that as parents we all realize that, because I certainly didn't. I thought they were mine forever. And when both of them moved from home and cut the cord completely, actually, they had cut the cord in high school. They gave me very little latitude of how much involvement I could have in their lives. And I did listen to them. Painful, painful, painful. But when they left, even though they had already cut the cord, I was really despondent. And that will carry on till today. What I did want to say is, somebody had mentioned how wonderful it is to see the relationship where I see my son Michael, almost daily. That's a very recent development. When Michael became an adult, I seldom saw him. Even when he lived in the same house as me, I seldom saw him. And when I did, he wouldn't really speak. He's a guy, he was just off. They think I can handle myself. So very, very little interaction. When he moved into his own home 6 or 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I only saw him maybe 2 or 3 times a year and didn't speak to him in the meantime. That was his wish. And we weren't estranged. He has his own life. He keeps it completely separate from me, and that's how he wants it. So I've had to come to terms with that. Now, this is why I'm so happy today. What a gift that they've allowed me back into their lives because they want me to be part of my granddaughter's life. And with that, they're now older adults, and we have a different dynamic. I am very, very fortunate about that, but I don't know how anybody else can get there. I think it's just evolution. So for somebody whose child has cut the cord and had to cut it pretty strongly, and I know why that is, at least I think I do, because the parent-child is so close that when the child tries to pull away, it doesn't work. So the only way it works is to completely cut that cord. Now, they'll be back, but It could be 6 months, it could be 5 years. You just don't know. How do you cope? And again, can we give some feedback? Because I know there's some people in our community truly struggling with that right now. And I feel like I don't have the expertise to answer that, or I don't have the answers. So that's our charge for this week. Please, let's get on Facebook, and if we can, give some positive reinforcement to help those people out. It takes a village. I am getting ready to go to see Debbie and Mike and to do my grocery shopping. So I know I'm going to have a really good day. I hope you all do. Have a good week, and I'll probably not be back until next weekend, but we'll see what the week brings. Hope it's beautiful for all of you. I'm done.